Woj, what can you tell us about the Pelicans and their plans at number 4?
Well, they continue to canvass the league to make a deal for that 4th pick, either trying to bring in, a youngish top-line player that they could package perhaps with number 4, maybe one of the other Laker picks that came in the Anthony Davis trade. But one team to watch today pursuing that 4th pick, the Atlanta Hawks. They've got the 8th pick, the 10th pick, and the 17th pick in the first round. They've also got salary cap space to potentially absorb a bad contract from New Orleans, perhaps a Solomon Hill that would give the Pelicans some more cap space, get some money off the books there, and then give them multiple picks in either today's first round or maybe get a pick for the future. But there's still several teams knocking at the door at number 4. I think David Griffin could potentially take that all the way up to the clock tonight on the draft before deciding on whether to move the pick or keep it and select himself at 4.
All right, that is a fascinating thing. It does feel in many ways as though New Orleans sort of controls the top of this draft. Woj, hang tight with us. We're back with you in just a moment right here. In the meantime, let me take it here to Brian Windhorst and start right there. So we hear from Woj, and we've known for a while that the Pelicans, well, a while, the last weekend is when they made the trade. But that feels like a very long time ago, that they are interested in moving that. Give me a sense of whom they might move it for if it's out there.
The Pelicans aren't thrilled with the draft picks. They want players. They have aspirations for this season. So they've talked to some teams like the Minnesota Timberwolves. Timberwolves have the 11th pick about a potential switch where the Timberwolves could move up to 4 and the Pelicans could get a player in the deal in addition to the pick. So maybe a guy like Robert Covington, maybe a guy like Dario Saric, guys that they got in the Jimmy Butler deal. The Pelicans are very motivated. In general, the reason the teams want this 4th pick, there's only a couple of point guards that everybody's really excited about, and they're all going to go maybe in the top 5 or 6 with Ja Morant. And this the focus to get Garland is intense. That's what those teams want to move up for, to try to get Garland. Now, Atlanta has talked to everybody in there. Atlanta has talked to the Knicks. Atlanta has talked to the Pelicans. Atlanta has talked to the Cavs. But they mostly have picks to trade. They don't really have the players that maybe New Orleans wants.
I like this, Jalen. I like New Orleans saying, we can go for it now. We'll build it. Yes, Zion is the centerpiece of it all, and he's going to be a rookie, but they have some other good players there and some who've been developed in that Lakers system. If you add a guy like Saric, for example, to this team, are the Pelicans potentially a playoff team right now?
It depends on how good Zion is. That's all this is going to boil down to. He's going to be the centerpiece around everything that they do. You're trying to build around a guy that we see that's a unique talent coming into the NBA. But I agree with you. You don't want to have too many rookies on the roster. You have enough young players that got experience in LA. You have Drew Holiday already on the roster who has playoff experience. He's a seasoned veteran. Alvin Gentry is going to do a terrific job of coaching him and easing him in. So I like the situation that New Orleans is setting up.
So much talk about Darius Garland, and you heard Wendy mention it. Obviously, he's a target when you're talking about some of these point guards that could go early. What should people know about Darius on the day of this draft? Your expectations for him? We only saw him play 5 games for Vandy last year.
Look, he's a dynamic guard, can shoot from anywhere on the floor, has a great basketball IQ. And look, it's like every NFL team wants to have a quarterback. Right, you need a quarterback, and I think for the NBA and where we are right now, it's such a guard-centric league with guys like Damian Lillard, guys like Kyrie Irving, Russell Westbrook. Darius Garland could potentially be one of those type of players, but he is 6'1", 6'2". He is on the smaller side, but he's dynamic in pick and rolls.
Okay, the Knicks hold the 3rd pick in tonight's draft. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with this. They did hold a last-minute workout for Darius Garland on Wednesday as we continue to talk about the intrigue around him, but people wondered, would they actually pass on Duke forward R.J. Barrett? Garland played only those 5 games for Vandy before suffering the season-ending knee injury. You heard Jay talking about that. That would be the 2nd fewest games played by a college player drafted in the top 10 during the one-and-done era.